Shalom, shalom, Akim and Akwav. This is your brother Azariah. I want to start by giving all the praise and the honor and the glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahawashi, Yahweh being the true name of the Most High God, and doing so in the name of his only begotten Son, who the world knows as Jesus Christ, but we know his true name to be Yahawashi, and he is the Hamashiach. All right, and what we're going to do is a class on, by the way, Salaki disclaimer, coughs are still here, like the last lesson, but the Lord's still restoring in health. So I've been getting better, but the cough is still there. So Salaki in advance, if you hear a little bit of that, you know, a lot of things going around, being spread around in the earth in these last days. But hey, like I said, faith in the Lord will restore us, man. Just got to have faith. But at the end of the day, okay, so dealing with the centurion, right? That's what we're going to deal with, the centurion that people come across in the Gospels, the centurion. And not only that, but Cornelius. Granted, I did a class on Cornelius and how he's an Israelite. I did it a while ago. Maybe I'll do something again on it if need be. I may touch on it. Another class concerning Cornelius, but I did one a while ago concerning him being the the baptism of John, proving that Cornelius is an Israelite, right? So there's that. You just gotta search through it in the class, and it's a little while ago, but probably can find it in the playlist. If not, I need to update my playlist concerning doctrine of baptism, and I'll add it up there. But nonetheless, I mentioned Cornelius because he's also a centurion, and people like to think that he is a natural heathen due to they see centurion and it trips certain brothers and sisters up. Just no different here. This centurion here that we find in the Gospels account that Yahawashi spoke to trips brothers and sisters up. So let's go and start with Matthew 8 real quick. All right. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 8. And we'll start at verse 5. And when Yahawashi was entered into Capernaum, there came unto him a centurion beseeching him. So that Capernaum, right? We'll go into the Capernaum. It's a location. And it's really, a hometown where a lot of our people, the Jews, Southern Kingdom, predominantly were there, like a flourishing city of Galilee, right? Yahawashi was in Galilee. The disciples, Andrew, Mark were in Galilee, right? That was Peter's hometown. He was in Galilee. Peter was there, right? A place near where the Jordan flows into the lake. So this is there, I'm saying? People were there. It has a Hebrew origin. You see that? So a lot of our people were around in Galilee. So just keep this stuff in mind, the location, where our people were and where they dwelt, okay? So Yahawashi was entered into Capernaum. There came unto him a centurion. So he met that centurion there and saying, Lord, my servant lieth at home, sick of the palsy, grievously tormented. Yahawashi saith unto him, I will come and heal him. The centurion answered and said, Lord, I am not worthy that thou shouldest come under my roof, but speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. For I am a man under authority, having soldiers under me. And I say to this man, go, and he goeth unto another, come, and he cometh, and to my servant do this, and he doeth it. Right? He's speaking to the Lord right now, telling him, hey, just telling him. Right? When Yahawashi heard it, he marveled, and said to them, followed, Verily I say unto you, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel. And that trips brothers and sisters up right there, because he said, that's another part that trips people up. He had not found so great faith, not in Israel, meaning they're thinking they eliminate the nation of Israel from this text, meaning that he hasn't seen such faith from somebody, so this person's a heathen. That's not what he's saying. It's actually quite the contrary. All right. First off, let's go back up to dealing with centurion, right? The centurion, we're going to get that real quick, because all you're going to see is it's an officer, Roman officer, an officer in the Roman army. So all you're going to get.
Strong's G 1543. Hekatantarches.
Hekatantarches, right, is the Greek word, an officer in the Roman army, and captain of 100 men. He mentioned, right, he has soldiers, right? He said, I am not worthy thou shouldst come under a roof, but speak the word only. I'm a man under authority, having soldiers under me. And that's it. People get tripped up over that centurion. And a lot of it's due to the fact that we don't see Jake as a person that could be in authority, a person that could have a certain level of rank. But, you have people in wars, our people were given that because they knew that, our people knew war tactics and they used us. World War II, whatever the case may be, we were used in wars, right? In fact, give me a second. Right? Let's pull up right here. You literally can just type this in an AI overview now. It's easy. Many African-American individuals have served, look what pops up. Many African-American individuals have served as diplomats and military officers in foreign countries, right? So this is in foreign countries, right? So to think, because again, we were scattered across the four corners of the earth. Of course, we have to remember to think this is deeper than just Babylon, deeper than just the United States, right? Military officers in foreign countries holding positions such as ambassadors, consulate officers, and U.S. aid mission directors. These officers have served in virtually every region of the world, with the history of service dating back to the late 19th century and continuing through today. Notable examples include Ebenezer Bassett, first African-American diplomat, and current ambassadors serving in countries like South Africa and Ethiopia. So different countries our people can be in. Of course, you gotta, watch the blurred lines between, someone not of our people, and they just use black as a broad term, right? But nonetheless, you see, like, for example, ambassadors, Edward Dudley, first African-American ambassador serving in Liberia in 1949. Terrence Todman, appointed as a 6-time ambassador beginning in 1969. And the list goes on. They even had women. Not that I, am pushing that type of movement, but they also had women that in foreign, as generals and in the U.S., things of that nature, lieutenants, whatever the case, 3-star, 4-star, 3-star, etc. So it's like we got to stop looking like it's a far-fetched thing. Let's get another example. This is Clifton Reginald Walton Jr., right? Born in right here, September 13th from 1926, November 16, 2024, right? This is a timeline. Was an American University president, corporate executive, United States Deputy of Secretary of State. That's Slovakia. Let's go right here. Now, born in Boston, his father, Clifton Reginald Wharton Sr., was a 40-year Foreign Service officer and the first African-American to pass the Foreign Service exam and to become a career ambassador. He graduated from Boston Latin School and entered Harvard College at 16, where he was National Secretary and a founding member of the United States National Students Association. See this? And the first African-American to earn a Master of Arts degree in International Affairs from Paul H. Knight School of Advanced International Studies of Johns Hopkins University. All right. And so we can stop right there. The man's accomplishments, their accomplishments speak for themselves, right? So these are things that very well could happen and have happened in history, as we can see. There are various examples to pull from. There's many more that I did not get into, right? And so not hinder us from, expounding our mind that, hey, our people, even in a cursed state, right, with the curse is still upon us, right? The Most High still uses us. He still uses us, can and has used us in a way to where we can still be elevated to a particular position, even in oppression, another nation's kingdom, right? It's happened. Let's get a Bible verse dealing with it, right? Let's go to the book of Daniel, chapter 2, and verse 48. Let's start at 47. The king answered unto Daniel and said, of a truth it is, that your God is a God of gods and a Lord of kings and a revealer of secrets, seeing thou couldst reveal this secret. Then the king made Daniel a great man and gave him many great gifts and made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon and chief of the governors over all the wise men of Babylon. See that? Daniel had a position of power. Mind you, Joseph had a position of power. So we can't, act like it's not foreign concept to think that our people could, reach certain levels and ranks, even amongst other nations. So that shouldn't disqualify the centurion from being an Israelite by any means. Right? Or Cornelius for that matter, but we're just keeping it to the centurion. All right, that being said, let's go to the book of Luke, chapter 7. Right? Let's start off at the top. Now, when he had ended all his sayings in the audience of the people, he entered into Capernaum. And a certain centurion servant who was dear unto him was sick and ready to die. And when he heard of Yahawashi, he sent unto him the elders of the Jews, beseeching him that he would come and heal his servant. And when they came to Yahawashi, they besought him instantly, saying that he was worthy for whom he should do this. Check that out. They're telling Yahawashi, man, this guy is worthy of your help, man. For he loveth our nation, and he have built us a synagogue. Very key. Verse 6, then Yahawashi went with them. And sure, yeah, another nation could do that, right? But we know, man, the love of those of Israel who do love, that's what it is. That's what they're building, right? Verse 6, then Yahawashi went with them. And when he was now not far from the house, the centurion sent friends to him, saying, Slakia, unto him, Lord, trouble not thyself, for I am not worthy that thou shouldest enter under my roof. Showed humility. Wherefore neither thought I myself worthy to come unto thee, but saying a word, and my servant shall be healed. He's doing this for his servant. He doesn't even think he's worthy of Yahawashi's help. It's similar like how John the Baptist didn't think he was worthy to baptize him, right? That humility showing. For I also am a man set under authority, having under me soldiers, right? He's a centurion, right? And I say unto one, go, and he goeth, and to another, come, and he cometh, and to my servant, do this, and he doeth it. When Yahawashi heard these things, he marveled at him, and turned him about and said unto the people that followed him, I say unto you, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel. See that? And they that were sent, returning to the house, found the servant whole that had been sick. See that? They believe. These people, this is Yahawashi saying within the circle of Israel, right? It's check this out, because I know this gets people to, they may get the understanding. A lot of our people misunderstand this, thinking that this got to be talking about a heathen because he said he hasn't found the faith in Israel. So people are thinking it disqualifies Israel. But no, it's quite contrary. It's no different than if I'm in the league, right? If I watch the league, if I've been watching the NBA and I look at the league, or a scout, or let's say a scout does it, right? They've been scouting, looking at the league, looking at players, watching for like 13, 15 years, man, right? And they say, I haven't seen a player such as Anthony Edwards, or I haven't seen a shooter in all my time in the NBA. I haven't seen such a shooter. And he's looking at Stephen Curry. Says, I haven't seen a shooter like this, in all my time in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Does that mean Stephen Curry plays for the NFL? Does that mean Stephen Curry is MLB's in Major League Baseball? Does that disqualify NBA players? No. Stephen Curry is an NBA player. So within there, he's saying, I haven't seen anybody shoot like this. Yahawashi is saying, within the nation of Israel, he marveled because he said, I haven't seen anyone in Israel have faith like this. So actually, the contrary, he is an Israelite. It tells you just by that alone that he is an Israelite, because he hasn't seen faith like that in the nation of Israel. Him being, and think about it, like he said, he's a servant, but also has servants, and he's tending to his servant, right? He's tending to the, what would be essentially like, one of the least, right? He's not even doing anything for himself. He's doing it for his people. Not thinking he's worthy of this faith, worthy of Yahawashi's help. But he's coming in faith anyway, believing that he will help his comrade. You know what I'm saying? Which Yahawashi makes many, gives, many speeches concerning things like this. So, at least it's one of them for sure. So, that's really what it comes down to. That's really what it comes down to, That's really what it comes down to, the fact that this solidifies that Centurion is an Israelite. Now, let's go back over to Matthew 8, because there's another part in there that people look at. I've seen people look at, and, it'll still confuse them up. The next part. Salakia, y'all. Let's go to verse 11. I say unto you that many shall come from the east and the west, and shall sit down with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the children of the kingdom shall be cast out in the outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Right? See that? So we're looking at this, and it's saying, right, that from the east and the west, many shall sit down with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven, but the children of the kingdom shall be cast out. So, of course, the children of the kingdom were dealing with Israel, right? It's a sect. There's a sect of Israel. That's what we got to remember. That's a sect of Israel. How we know we can get precepts to back this up? Because for one, we're talking about many shall come from the east and the west. Let's deal with the scattering first. Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse which I have set before thee, thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whither Yahweh thy power have driven thee, and shalt return unto Yahweh thy God, shall obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thine heart, with all thy soul, that then Yahweh thy power will turn thy captivity, have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations, whither Yahweh thy power have scattered thee. And if any of thine be driven out most parts of heaven, driven out onto the most parts of heaven, from thence will Yahweh thy power gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. And Yahweh thy power will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed. Thou shalt possess it. He will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers. See that? So he's going to gather those and turn the captivity and gather them from the nations in which they were scattered. So from the east and from the west, many Israelites, right? And so when you're dealing with the children of the kingdom, you got to know, of course, right? We know that's talking about Israel. So people make, think that, okay, well, this must be heathen that could get put in the table or put in, right? Because for one, you're already thinking that the centurion is a heathen, a non-Israelite. So that already kind of throws off, that aspect, follow-up, it throws it off. But when you understand that he's an Israelite, you know that the whole context is talking about Israel. So let's see the children of the kingdom that are cast off. Let's see who he's talking about. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 13 and verse 8. So here we go. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, because ye have spoken vanity and seen lies, therefore, behold, I am against you, saith Yahweh, and mine hand shall be upon the prophets that see vanity and that divine lies. They shall not be in the assembly of my people, neither shall they be written in the writing of the house of Israel. Neither shall they enter into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh. Right? So this is dealing with the context, still dealing with Israel. There's always a divide. Salakia, there's always a divide. This is what the wheat and the tares mean. Those of the spirit, those of the flesh, those who are under Yahawashi, right? Who believe and endure to the end, who overcome this world, who are chosen to, right? Ultimately, right? And those who aren't, That's dealing with the children of the kingdom. Those would be the ones who, primarily would be at that time, right? It would be primarily most of your southern kingdom, the Jews that maintained their way, but were in a state of pride. They didn't believe on Yahawashi. Let's go to the book of John, chapter 8. I'm going to go to verse 31. Then said Yahawashi to those Jews which believed on him, if ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. They answered him, we be Abraham's seed, and were never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, ye shall be made free? And Yahawashi answered them, verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin. And the servant abideth not in the house forever, but the Son abideth ever. If the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed. I know that ye are Abraham's seed, but ye seek to kill me, because my wrath have no place in my Salakia, because my word have no place in you. I speak that which I have seen with my father, and ye do that which ye have seen with your father. And he answered and said unto him, Abraham is our father. So remember, Yahawashi just said that they were of the seed of Abraham, but he's going to clarify a division. Yahawashi, he said his word has no place in them. Yahawashi saith unto them, if ye were Abraham's children, ye would do the works of Abraham. So even though they're of the seed line of Abraham, meaning by flesh and blood, they are of the seed of Abraham, he's still saying they're not of the children of Abraham. Why? Verse 40, but now ye seek to kill me, a man that have told you the truth, which I have heard the Most High God Yahweh. This did not Abraham. Ye do the deeds of your father. Then said they to him, we be not born of fornication. We have one father, even Yahweh. Yahawashi said unto them, if Yahweh were your father, you would love me. For I proceeded forth and came from Yahweh. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me. Why do ye not understand my speech, even because ye cannot hear my word? Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father will ye do. Ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and bold not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. And because I tell you the truth, ye believe me not. He that is of Yahweh heareth Yahweh's words. Ye therefore hear them not, because ye are not of Yahweh. Right? And that's really all we need from there. That tells you the divide. That tells you, who these children of the kingdom are. John called them, a generation of vipers. So this is what this is the divide, and showing you who these children of the kingdom are. That's who those children of the kingdom are. The ones that will be sitting at the table will be those who endure with Yahawashi HaMashiach. Like he said, if you endure, right, going back to the top, if you continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed. So that's what that would be. If you continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So that's all that's getting into. The Centurion most definitely is an Israelite. We could tell by the context, the whole contextual, aspect of Matthew 8 to Luke 7 was dealing with Israelites. So, it's a divide. Remember, we'll go ahead and get the book of Romans real quick. Romans chapter 9 and verse 6. Not as though the word of the Most High God Yahweh have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel. Neither because they are of the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of the Most High Yahweh, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. And those of spirit, those who have the spirit of Yahawashi HaMashiach. So I hope this was edifying to brothers and sisters. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahawashi. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth that are learning and or teaching this gospel in truth and sincerity. Till next time, Yahweh willing, Shalom.